questions to ask throughout a campaign with the confidence rising. I told WDF don't switch, good times are coming on even deep diving. Fan cams, reactions, watch alongs to the pride of London thriving. The Eagles of South they flying. Keep your eyes on us, we ain't hiding.
Yes. Welcome back to TACT-EAGLE, the show where we tell you all the tactics that will probably happen in the match. And the last few games we've got it spot on. And I don't know, at some points we got right and some points we got right for the wrong reasons. But I'm joined here with Dan. Dan, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm all good. It's been a nice week. Looking forward to the weekend though. How are you?
I'm looking forward to the weekend, definitely. Long week already. Say that, and we still got another day to go.
One more sleep.
Looking forward to the weekend, but these 90 minutes, I'm not looking forward to it whatsoever. But all good. I think it's rude to start this Liverpool stream without talking about what happened to them against Real Madrid. And if you dissect that game tactically, Ancelotti basically backhanded Klopp 5 times. Because both of them played very... like Vinicius doesn't track back, but nor does Trent. So there was just attack after attack going down that side. And unfortunately, Vinicius has actually got a defender behind him and Trent doesn't. So that battle was inevitably going to be lost by Liverpool there. But what was your take of that game?
I thought that Liverpool's frailties that they've had this season pretty much throughout the entire season, I think was exposed by Real Madrid. I think defensively Liverpool have been very poor all season. And I think the fact that they're so vulnerable to counterattacks was really shown with Real Madrid and Vinicius. Like Vinicius is rapid, and you know how many times did he get in behind them? Like so many times, and they made him pay for it.
Definitely. I think one thing that seeing them struggle against something that will actually benefit us because we've got Anderson back is when they pressed, and Rudiger just pinged that one ball all the way out to Vinicius. And he basically just took out their whole team, and Vinicius was in one pass. I think that's something that we can see that happen in the Champions League. I think, we can replicate that.
Yeah, and it's not often you can say we can replicate Real Madrid.
I think this is the only time ever that we can say we can replicate something that Real Madrid does.
Well, hopefully we can replicate a 5-2 win. That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
That'll be pretty decent, I tell you that. But unfortunately, I don't think it's going to happen.
No.
I think something that has been calling out for, because we was on Coppish last night talking to Callum, great guy. Go sub to the channel if you don't know him. But he was telling us about their frailties going forwards. That we're sitting here listing off these players like Nunes, Salah, Gakpo, Jota, thinking these are really, really good forward players. But he was saying that they've got a massive lack of scoring ability. And I tell you what, I don't see that there's a lack of goals up front, but they must have a serious lack of service from that midfield.
Well, this is the thing. Like statistically, they've made fewer shots this season, and they make the shots that they do have are on average a lower quality than last season too. And also as well, another problem is that they also haven't been finishing the chances they got. Like for example, this season, they've only got 2 players who have overscored their expected goals that have played more than 3 players who have played more than 4 games or four worth of 90 minutes. 3 players in the entire squad, and those are Virgil van Dijk, who's obviously a defender, Luis Diaz, who's injured, and Roberto Firmino, who
Never plays.
never plays. So every other player, the only other two players that have overscored have both played less than four lots of 90s. Every other player in their squad is underperforming. Like Darwin Nunez, for example, is currently minus 3.1 under his. Mohamed Salah is minus 2.2 under. Jota minus 1.5. Gakpo minus 0.7, and so on. So not only are they not making the chances and making worse chances, they're also not taking the chances.
Oh, definitely. And with the stat that you said about Nunez, I think for every player in the whole Premier League that's taken more than 20 shots in the league, he's the fourth worst conversion rate in the whole league of every striker. But obviously the people that have taken more than 20 shots, because I'm sure if Mateta's because Mateta hasn't even taken 20 shots yet, which I thought was actually pretty funny, because I know he was going to be on that list.
Yeah, there's no, you know what? I would happily put a bet down that Mateta will not reach 20 shots for this whole season.
I don't think he's going to play for the rest of the season.
Well,
Bearing in mind that, I hope not, but unfortunately, we know Patrick Vieira, and he must love bold players, because there's no other way he's getting on that pitch.
He is dreadful. He is so dreadful.
It's a hard watch when he's on the pitch. Let's say that. This is going out to all players which may or may not sign for Crystal Palace. Don't tell the fans to say boom when you're going to score, because then you will never score ever again. And also, don't cut your hair. Thank you.
Has he scored since then? I feel like he scored one goal. No.
I don't think he's had a shot on target since then, let alone score.
Oh, poor guy.
Right.
I feel sorry for him. But anyway.
Yeah, it seems like a great guy. Loves the fans. Dead baller, isn't it?
And the chant is banging, man. It upsets me so much. It actually upsets me.
The thing is, the chant is so good that you can't let it go to waste. So you sing it when he comes on as a sub. And that's the only time.
Never sing it again. Sing it again.
But let's hit some comments before we deep dive into this a little bit more. Brush is in here first. I don't care how you lot do it. Just get it done. Well, listen, I don't care either. If we get a win, I'm going to be ecstatic. What's up, guys? I think this is the moment for us to win 2-1. Oh, there's some confident guys in here today.
You know what? I actually agree. I actually think, well, before Liverpool played Newcastle, I thought we had a better chance, Liverpool at home, than we did Brentford away.
Okay. Now says big ups. Rich is saying, I hate that Jota's back. Don't worry, Rich.
Well, if he runs into Guaita again, he'll just get a penalty, wouldn't he?
Of course. But he's back. I don't know whether me or Dan have got him in our predicted lineup, but we'll see what happens. And Sean is trying to back Mateta, but not really doing it very well. Okay. Do you want to go first, or should I?
You can go first.
All right, cool. Show the screen. So this is my predicted Palace and my predicted Liverpool 11. I'll start with Liverpool because it's actually got all the players in it. In goal, we've got Alisson. Left back, Robertson, Van Dijk, Matip, Trent. And then in the midfield, we've got Fabinho, Keita, and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. Up front, we've got Darwin Noodles, Diogo Jota, and Mohamed Salah. I reckon they'll play a 4-3-3, but we know what their fullbacks are like, so it's never really a 4-3-3, is it? No. And I'm playing the two wingers, so Jota and Salah, are sort of inside or inverted wingers, because Nunez is a striker, pretty much, and all three of these guys can play along every single one of these positions, pretty much. So I think these guys come inside because they take loads of shots anyway. I don't think I've ever seen Salah go to the byline and put a cross in my life. So there's no way that he's going to be pulling out wide. I think same thing for Nunes, and Jota just finishes everything that is in the box, really, in it. So that's what my starting lineup would be for Liverpool. I think Chamberlain normally has a pretty good game against us. I still have PTSD of Keita just hitting it last season away from home and it going in the top corner from like 40 yards away.
Oh, yeah.
And Fabinho's just... He's normally quality. He wasn't quality against Real Madrid, but he's normally pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Matip will start because... Dan said that he thinks Gomez is injured and Konate's injured. You wouldn't want to play Gomez after what he'd done. I think he was at fault for 4 of the goals. He played Rodrigo offside for the last one as well. I mean, onside.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think, yeah, even if he was around, like, there's no way that he can start, can he?
No way. Moving over to Palace now. I'll go VG in goal because big old John Stone's injured. Don't know how, but it is what it is. Mitchell, Gay, Anderson, Klein with a midfield of Lokonga, Decore, and Blank. And then up front, we have left wing is Blank.
Try list.
Yep. Right wing is Michael Elise, and up front, we have Odsonne Edouard. So the reason why I've got 2 blanks is because I've got like 3 or 4 players that can go in any of these positions, and it's just picking it. So I'm gonna be here with Dan trying to pick out these last 2 players. So I'll make a case for all the players. I'll start with Eze. We know what he can do in the 10. He's probably his best position in the 10. But against these guys with the players running on the inside, he'll probably need to have a little bit more work rate in there. Also out wide, he played out wide for us in our last game against Brentford, and I think he played pretty well when he came on. Did come out wide, drifted inside, ghosted inside, good runs down the wing. Jordan Ayew can play in the 10 and out wide. He'll bring that defensive work rate, but he won't bring that end product and the dribbling that Eze does. We've got Schlupp, who is a left back at Trey, and he seems to play pretty well in the 10 as he did against Man United. And also, if we play him in that left wing, he's going to be a lot more help to Mitchell for defending against Salah and Trent, and maybe Jota if he comes over that side as well. And finally, with a wild card, Ahamada in the 10, putting Eze out on the left, or are you? Because whenever I've seen Ahamada play, he's tried to come on and run the game, but it is a big game to come into to start with. So bearing in mind all of that, Dan, who are you putting in the 10 and the left wing?
By the way, I agree with your Liverpool lineup, to be honest. I wouldn't change it. With Palace, I would say, for me, in the 10, I would put... See, I agree. I thought Eze played quite well on the left-hand side the other day.
But he won't defend. That's the only reason that I'm not 100% on anyone anywhere, because he won't defend against Salah and Trent.
I
think he will hurt them the most if we get a through ball. That's the problem. So swings and roundabouts.
That's it. I mean, I think, you know what? I'm going to say, are you in the 10? And Eze on the left. Now, the reason why I'm saying that, and you know what? I'm completely contradicting myself because I know how much I've slated Vieira for playing players out of position. So, which is something that I'm just clearly doing right now. But I think when Mitchell pushes up, and it allows Eze to come inside, then I think that's good. And if he's supported by Ayew or Lokonga in doing that, then I think it works. I think when it doesn't work is when the midfield doesn't help support him on the left, when he's just out there on his own and Mitchell kind of hangs back a bit. That's when I think it doesn't work. The reason why I'm saying are you in the middle is just because I think he can help play off Edouard a little bit. And I do think Ayew holds the ball up well, and I think he holds it up significantly better than Mateta. I do like the idea of Ahmad, and my only concern would be I don't know if it's a bit too early for him, and I don't know if he'll tire quickly. But having said that, what I think about Liverpool, maybe that would work. So maybe I would put Ahamada in the middle, but that would be the only maybe slight tweak that I would make. But otherwise, I would do it like that. On assuming that Mitchell pushes up and Lokonga pushes up when it's attacking on that side.
Definitely. Rich says here, I can actually say in this game I don't mind Elise in the 10. I'm still saying no to him in the 10 because put it this way, if Elise is in the 10, you know that every pass is going this way. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Every pass, if Elise is in the 10, so let's say that this is happening, every pass is going this way purely because he's so left-footed.
I also don't think I don't think he's built enough to play in the middle. Do you know what I mean?
No,
like,
I don't think he ever was he?
No, I think, and also I think where the space is in this game, I think Elise would do really well on the wing because there's going to be loads of space on that wing.
100%. Before I delve into our attacking formation, our defending formation, why don't you show us what you think?
Right. Wait, how do I do this again? Present. Share screen. This one. Right. I'm not going to lie. I'm very disorganized. So I haven't actually finished it, but...
that's why I went first. I see how it is.
But to be honest, I agree with JC's. I think we're going to set up in a very similar way, and I don't disagree with any of the players you put in there. In terms of how the game's actually going to play, I'm not going to bother adding the names because I don't really need to. Because what I noticed with Liverpool is that when you're kind of over here and they've got the ball, I don't know, let's say we play a 4-4-2 in defence or whatever, just for argument's sake. They will push up really high, like really, really high. And the thing is, what I don't think they really attack in a particularly different way. I just don't think their players can hack it anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I think it's the what do they call it? The 7 years of Klopp or something like that. Like all his players just tire out eventually, and he just doesn't replace the players. He doesn't. He's not like Ferguson. He just had a big Ferris wheel of players, just in out. He's sort of stuck with his players now, and he's sort of.
No,
I think he's stuck, but I think he's stuck too long before he twisted.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I said this on the. I said this when in a weird way, I said this when we didn't make any signings, because even the best teams have to make signings, and and Liverpool just haven't really done that. But because I don't think they've always attacked like this. Like they've always overloaded. They've always used TAA, Trent and Robertson to attack really high. They've always played a high line as well with the defense. So I don't think what they're doing is particularly different in that sense. I agree. I just think that they're just old and tired and they just haven't replaced the players. Like, I'm not being funny. Before you had Sadio Mane on this side. Now you've got Darwin Noodles who can't hit a barn door with a banjo. So
unless it's a back heel, clearly.
yeah, exactly. So I'm just going to put Gakpo in just because that was the first name I thought of. And then you got Mohamed Salah, who's been absolutely rubbish this season.
Still scoring well in the fantasy, though, to be fair.
True. But that's how they'll set up. And then because of this inevitability, because the reason why they don't do as well before is because when they're here, right, and let's say they've lost the ball here, in the past, what they were very good at was getting their players around here when we've won the ball and then winning it back very quickly. That is what they were very good at. But their problem now is that they don't close this space quick enough. So, sorry, that was a really bad. So say Fabinho plays into Gakpo and our player wins the ball. In the past, what they were very good at was surrounding the player and winning the ball back like there, right? Their problem now is that they're too slow to execute this. So rather than being able to do that, say they're a couple yards further away, that now gives teams an extra couple seconds to like go into these positions where there's so much space because Trent and Robertson are so high, it gives so many opportunities to overload. And that is reflected in the chances that they concede. So I've just got oh no, wait, hang on. Oh no, I'll go back to it. Sorry, apologies. So for example, in last season, they on average conceded the most XG per shot of any team. But that's because they still played in this way. So when a team did get a chance, it was on the counter attack. It was a very direct and quick attack. And that's why they conceded. That's why that stat is so high, because on average, the ones they do concede are very high. But the difference with this season and last season is that last season, they were much quicker to stop that kind of situation from happening. Whereas this season, they're less quick on doing that. And therefore, it affords teams more chances to do that. Like, I watched a video from Tifo the other day, and in the past 5 seasons, this season is the season that they've conceded the most goals from counterattacks of any season in the last 5 seasons. So, and I think that's demonstrated by that. And I think the thing is, Klopp kind of knows it as well, because something else I've noticed, which is totally different from what I think they used to do, is let's say we're doing our thing, we got the ball, we can't pass it anywhere because it's rubbish. But when they're all back like this now, so when the game's kind of like a little bit settled, they actually do I've noticed that they actually do a mid block now, which I was quite surprised about, because like you wouldn't expect Liverpool to be dropping into a mid block really, but they do. Which I was quite surprised about. Like, they'll let you have the ball up to like this kind of point. Once you get into the middle third, that's when they'll engage you. And I think Klopp knows that his players aren't quite as quick as they used to be, not quite as reactive and so on. Or the players that they have now just aren't built for that. And that's why I think they've kind of changed into this kind of system. But yeah, that's my kind of whistle-stop tour on what I thought with that.
Definitely. It's a bit of a fall from grace from Liverpool from that season that they won the Premier League, because then they actually looked unstoppable. Like, it just was a well-oiled machine. Everyone was fresh. Everyone was ready to go. And the only real difference to that team now is Sadio Mane. Now, even though this is TACT-EAGLE and it's probably going to bring this question up in the preview tomorrow, but I'll ask you now.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that Liverpool sold the wrong person? Because they probably could have got about double, maybe even triple the money for Mo Salah.
I purely in terms of their footballing ability, I think that it's a hard one, because in hindsight, yes, is the answer. But at the time, I don't think many people really queried it, because Mo Salah did do so well last season. Mane also did well last season, but I think Salah was always the one that people kind of held a bit higher.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also a hard one as well because obviously like their midfield isn't doing as well. So you could also argue that Mo Salah's just not had the balance hasn't quite been there. So I think it's a tricky one to say. But in terms of the money that they could have got and the footballing ability, yeah, probably because like you say, they could have got silly money for Mo Salah really.
Mm. They could have done with Mo Salah what they did with Coutinho, sell him for stupid money and bring in 3 or 4 proper world-class players.
Well, see, that's the thing, and I think that's a cycle that'll be familiar to Palace fans because it's similar to like Zaha in a way. You know, should we? Obviously, I know we wouldn't have got all of the 80 million because of the clause, but should we sell players for big money and then reinvest it into several other players who then come good or may not come good?
Yeah, I think the only difference is by selling Zaha, we guarantee our relegation. But if they sell Salah, they're still going to be top 6.
True.
Which is probably the big difference in relating that back to Palace.
True. Where are Liverpool at the moment? Are they in the top 6 right now?
I think they're 9th, you know. I'm not going to lie to you.
I'll have a quick look. They are 8th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're 9 points ahead of us. At this stage of the season, as Liverpool, that's not looking good for them.
Not looking good, bro.
Nah. Rich is saying Mitchell needs to overlap, leave Lokonga and Decore to watch Salah. Salah might not track back. He doesn't really track back. So if Mitchell gets through, him and Eze can link up. They'll be, 2-on-1? It'll be Matip on that right side, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would, yeah.
So yeah, that'll be 2-on-1 versus Matip. And he's a good centre-back, but he's not the most mobile guy in the world, is he?
No.
6 foot block. He's 6 foot. God no, he's massive. I just can't have Elise tracking back with Robertson. I think that's probably him saying why he should play in the 10.
Yeah. I thought I can't remember what game he was, but I actually thought he defended quite well recently, and I can't remember who was. Yeah.
I think it was the Brighton game, you know.
Because there was a game where I thought, Elise's actually defended quite well today.
That's it, the Newcastle game.
Is it Newcastle?
Yeah, because he was slide tackling Alan Saint-Maximin when he went down the wing, didn't he?
Nice.
Rich said, no, Dan, you're jinxing it. Watch Noodles and Salah score. He called them both crap.
Well, look, I know I jinx things, yeah.
At least he hasn't predicted the score yet.
I won't be predicting the score until I put it on Discord. So, and that's where it will stay.
Sean is saying we need Zaha for this win. I'm not sure. I think he's still a couple weeks out.
Yeah,
Hazard said will Zaha be back, and I said no, I don't think so. I think he's superhuman, but he's not Superman.
Yeah. I mean, according to this injury table website, they've got a potential turn of the 4th of the Aston Villa game.
Okay.
That's what they got on this website, but I don't know how accurate it is.
And Rich saying a mid block will help out Anderson for his passing. That's one. I think that's one of the major things that I was going to touch on when looking at how we can hurt them, because clearly it's going to be Liverpool having loads of possession and we're going to have to hit them on the break.
No, for sure.
So I'll show mine. It's going to look confusing because there's no straight lines in this app unless it's arrows. So there's circles where there should be lines. So I'll explain it because it looks confusing, but it'll make sense after I explain it. So don't have a headache, please. Do you have a headache? Because I do. Okay, right. So the circles basically, we like talking about triangles in tactics, basically, and all these triangles represent a triangle that each player can play for when they're in possession, and the only person that doesn't have a triangle is really Jota. But when Liverpool are in possession, it's very hard to get the ball off of them unless they play one of the Salah and the Jota passes. If they try and get the ball anywhere around Jota, that's where you pounce. And I think that is where Palace, for us, we need to tuck in a lot. I think that it's going to be one of them games where we probably have to invite the cross, because the only way we're going to get the ball off of them is by winning the aerial duels. Because the only person up front for Liverpool right now who's really a threat in the air, I would say, is Núñez. So they do like to cross. It's been a thing that they've been practicing a lot more this season. Normally it would be a Salah cut in. He would make this run and he'd shoot, aim for the far corner. And same thing for Núñez. He's done it a little bit this season, but lately, after his terrible shooting record, he's rathered the pass instead. So these triangles are just basically get out of jail cards, aren't they? When you look at how you play football. And I think this is how it's going to happen, because they'll play Chamberlain and Keita as 8s. Fabinho will be a 6. Obviously, they say Ayew presses Fabinho and the ball's at Matip. He'll recycle the ball over here. I think one thing that Liverpool love to do when they have possession is they recycle the ball a hell of a lot. They pass it to Trent. Oh, not Matip. Yeah, they'll pass to Trent. Trent will go, oh, is the ball on here? No, just go back or go around. Is this ball on? No, we'll go back, we'll go around. Is this ball on? No, but Keita's free, inside, bang. And then they're in, basically. So it's the big circles, lots of play in the ball, lots of work in it, because they don't attack with much pace and vigor anymore. Because that's one thing they were really good at when they won the league. And I think that also comes back to you saying the age. The squad's just familiar faces now. No one's really challenging anymore. But even though all of this looks like I'm loving Liverpool when I clearly don't, let me just get rid of all these lines and circles and stuff. I'm getting a headache. Okay, obviously these are crossing lines, running lines, you name it, they're doing it. However, if we sacrifice some passing lanes and we hold a high line of our forward players, you see where I'm getting at? You see all this space?
Yeah.
That this is literally all Eze's place. This is his playground right here.
Absolutely.
This huge channel. And the thing is, not my tip, it's the same thing for Elise. And I think one thing that most teams don't utilize enough is, let's say Anderson gets the ball here, sees Eze free, pings the ball, Eze runs onto it. Look at where Alisson is. He's made this mistake many times this season already, and he's been caught out a few times. The player's taken the shot and they've missed the target, or it's bounced over the goal. But I think that's like a, I wouldn't say it's a cheap shot, but you're never going to score unless you try. Zaha scored against him at the start of the season because he took the shot early. He didn't let Alisson settle down. If you let Alisson settle, he's a great goalkeeper, don't get me wrong. He's probably going to save. But if you take the shot early, don't give him time to think about it, to set himself, we're going to be in a very good scenario to score. We can hurt this Liverpool team because this midfield is not the midfield that they won the league with. They're probably their best midfielder in Thiago is injured. They're, if I'm honest, This is what I think that Liverpool play, but it wouldn't surprise me if they play that kid that they played in the Champions League. What's his name?
What, Harvey Elliott?
No.
Oh,
No.
the
That mad name, the kid.
Yeah, the name that let me try and pronounce it.
Brajicic.
Yeah, Bajcetic, Sorry, Croatia. Is he Croatian?
You hope so now.
Oh no, he's Spanish. Okay, well, that's a new one to me.
Okay, fair enough. But yeah, I think if that's the case, this is a game where we can actually come here and dominate the midfield, which is something that we normally never do and it never happens. But I reckon if we defend and we sit in and we tuck in with a 4-5 or with like a 4-4-2, let's say. So let's say who do you think's faster, Elise or Eze? I think Elise.
Elise.
So we'll leave Elise up. Eze will come back here. Probably then this will happen, right? We'll probably be defending like this. 4-4-1, and then Elise doing what he wants, really. If we defend with a great low block and we give the ball to Anderson or Gay, because both of these guys can hit the pass. Oops. We're leaving ourselves very isolated down here because Elise's got no help. But if he's here one-on-one, I think this season I would back Elise to win that 1v1.
I think so too. I think Van Dijk's not been at the same level as he has been.
Ever since Pickford poleaxed him,
yeah,
he hasn't looked half the player he has.
No.
I think even though Elise is so one-footed and he's inevitably going to come on the inside, he'll run the ball. But one thing of Elise, he slows down a hell of a lot. And I tell you what, if Edouard gets on his bike and he gets in front of Matip, that is a great opportunity.
Absolutely. Right, and Wolves scored a near enough identical goal to that when they played them 2 weeks ago.
Exactly. And I think with Anderson or Gay, with the pass to Elise and then the finish from Edouard, I reckon that we've probably got a little bit more quality in those 3 or 4 players as well. Because I know for sure, after seeing what Eze done against Brentford, he's going to make that late run up here as well, coming through the inside.
Yeah.
So there's gonna. I think I'll go out on a limb and I'm going to say there's going to be a situation in this game where we're going to be 3-on-2 with their centre backs.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And we have to be clinical. I think that's the biggest thing from this TACT-EAGLE today. We have to be clinical in this match because we're not going to get this many chances. Because I tell you what, the second that Anderson and Gay get that ball, everyone on this team is going to absolutely pounce and close him down to stop it at all costs because they know that that's probably our only way out. And it's a very effective way out as well because they know Trent ain't defending. Robertson's already gassed out running forwards because he's aging up a bit now. So
no, absolutely, I completely agree, and that demonstrates why Liverpool have the highest value for the most expected goals conceded per shot. For that very reason this season. Another thing I think as well, with that, I think if they seem to, it wouldn't be a TACT-EAGLE scream if I didn't show you my spreadsheet.
Easy there, Dan.
So,
let me full screen it.
So this is their away record this season. So these are like for like games, and they're currently 18 points behind where they are, where they were last season. just for perspective, they're only 3 points behind their home record. So at home, they're actually still very good. It's just their away form really isn't. I know they played well against Newcastle, but to be honest with you, I'm surprised Newcastle. I thought Newcastle actually played better than they did. I thought Newcastle were just unlucky, to be honest. And I think the game would have panned out different had Nick Pope not had a bit of a mad one. Thought he was Wayne Hennessy.
He thought he was playing the Super Bowl rather than the Premier League.
Yeah, exactly. So even then he still fumbled it. So
still a turnover.
yeah. But I just want to demonstrate how bad Liverpool have been away from home this season, and a lot of that is because of their conceding goals. So let me just find, where is it, goals per time segment. There we go. So there was another stat I came across. I actually came across this the other day, but I'm putting it now. These are the goals conceded per 10-minute segment in a game. So I don't know if you can see it. I'll zoom in a little bit.
Yeah, there you go. That's good.
It's annoying that I can't. Oh, is that okay? Is that big enough?
Yeah, that's good.
All right, cool. So as you can see, I know everyone's looking at Palace right now. Yeah, I know we're terrible. But Liverpool actually have conceded the most goals of any team in the league in the first 10 minutes. And interestingly, they've also conceded a lot in the 10 minutes after that as well. So I think another point that we need to do is that we need to get into them at the beginning of the game. And one thing also I noticed is that if they concede first, they don't tend to come back from it. In fact, in all of their away games, if they concede first, I think their record is like 1 draw and all the others are losses. So if we get in first, that'll really help, because I noticed this in the Wolves game, is that you were talking about that situation then, assuming that it's like 0-0 or something. Well, if we go a goal ahead, you can imagine how that exacerbates how open Liverpool are on the counter. And that's exactly what happened at Wolves. They conceded an early goal within the first 20 minutes. It was an own goal by Konate. And then they went on to then concede two more goals from counterattacks.
Yeah, I think from exactly that, what you can draw from it is that the reason for that is Trent and Robertson specifically are very sleepy at the start of the match. They never seem to be bombing forwards or making like commanding tackles at the start of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a way that if we can replicate the situation that we talked about, the Wolves situation, if we can replicate that at the start of the game, there's going to be a high chance we'll be through on goal very early. And that's where we're going to have to be very warm, very composed to take our chances, because we're not going to get many chances in this game.
No, absolutely. And I think, yeah, like you say, we just got to take our chances, because I agree. I'll be very shocked if there wasn't a situation from a counter-attack where there isn't an opportunity for an overload.
And also with what you said, if they go down a goal, they ain't coming back. But I think we're actually the highest points. I think we've gained the most points from a losing position this season in the whole Premier League, aren't we?
I believe so, yeah. Because a lot of the games we played, like Leeds, Wolves, they were all from a goal down.
West Ham as well, no?
Yeah, West Ham, yeah. And I think there's another one in there as well that I've forgotten about.
Comments. Chairman says, "Rip John Motson."
R.I.P. John Motson.
Sad to hear. He had his last done his last commentary against the Palace game, didn't he?
Yeah, I think against West Brom. I think it was.
And Louis saying up the Palace.
Big up, Louis.
Definitely. I had something I wanted to say, but I've completely forgotten it. It's gone out of my mind.
I don't have anything tactics-wise. There were some interesting stats. They were more just like demonstrations of how different they play this season. So, like for example, this season per 90, they make fewer passes. So, for example, so like last season, for example, no, sorry, that's this season. Last season, they made on average 600. They attempted 672 passes per game. This season, they only attempt 637.
Mm-hmm.
And in terms of defensiveness, in terms of like touches they allow, in their penalty area last season, they only allowed 14 touches in their penalty area per game. This season, that goes up to where is it? That goes up to 19, so an extra 5 touches in their penalty box this season. And generally speaking, they just generally allow more. So, like, because they have less possession now, they allow the opponent more touches, and that seems to have spread out relatively evenly from the mid third all the way to their penalty box. They kind of allow like 10 in each kind of bracket towards their goal more than they did last season, which I thought was quite interesting to see how they've changed in terms of the stats and how that seems to be affecting their goal scoring and their defensive play.
Definitely. I think the last thing that I'd like to say in this would be with how we think that we're going to get them on the counter-attack. I think a stat that came out the other day for the top 5 dribblers in the Premier League.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1 was Zaha, number 2 is Eze, and number 3 is Elise. So if we play both of those guys out wide and they've got space to run at the centre-backs, we're going to have a good chance. And I think it was an interesting stat to come out as well, because that's, I'm guessing, how we're going to try and counter-attack against them.
Mm-hmm.
So this game could be like that. Was it 4-3 at Anfield?
Yeah. What was that? The one when
Max Meyer scored.
Maybe I'm thinking of the one when Andros Townsend scored.
Yeah, Andros Townsend scored as well in that match. That was the goal where Townsend, I think, was it Townsend that scored, where we actually played out from the back.
Yeah, it was.
And we actually had a very nice goal. It was a very good team goal, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's it. And then, because I remember they passed it around the back and they were chasing him, and then Maka got the ball like on our right hand side of the pitch. He
spun like 2 or 3 players, pinged it out to Van Aanholt.
Yeah,
Van Aanholt ran it, passed it to Zaha. Zaha cut in, passed it into Townsend, and he scored. It was an incredible goal.
Yeah, that was I think that was the opening goal of the game. Actually, I think
so. It was a hell of a goal. I think it put us 1-0 as well, right?
Yeah, it was.
I
think so. It was the opening goal of the game.
Definitely. Let's round out with some comments. Louis says, Wolf back for this match? Definitely not.
Don't think so.
Is this the game to start both kids? I think he's talking about Ahamada and Lokonga.
I mean, for me, Lokonga would start anyway.
I think Lokonga's nailed on, but I think with Ahamada, we made a case for him at the start of the stream.
Mm-hmm.
But I reckon that the only way we play Ahamada is if we're going to go and attack them. And I really don't think that's going to happen. We're going to be counter-attacking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think if we were to go all guns blazing from the start, then maybe Ahamada might be a good shout. But I don't know. I think attacking with our striker and the wingers would be enough to counter, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, considering what they have back when they do push up.
Definitely, because they like to play a back two. So if we can get in behind them, there's only going to be 2 of them chasing us down. So if we can overload that, then theoretically we should have a free man in the box when we get there.
Yeah, no, for sure.
However, one of our players will do a spin when they're away. for some reason.
Probably. Or they'll just kick it out because
Yeah,
why not?
they're in a punching or just say do a spin.
But if anyone wants to see that exact goal being done, watch Ruben Neves' goal like the other weekend, and you'll see that the tactic works.
Definitely. Dan, is there anything else you want to talk about?
No, not really. All I want to say is that I'm actually quite optimistic for this, and I showed the reasons why I was more optimistic for this game than I was the Brentford game. Normally, when I am optimistic, we at least we don't lose.
Oh,
So, I was setting myself up here, and I'm talking too much. But no, I don't have anything to add.
Cool. Well, I guess that's it then. Let's wrap up. Yes, guys, this was the TACT-EAGLE with me and Dan as your host today. This is our game, our tactics against Liverpool. Like, share, subscribe. If you don't watch the review tomorrow, I think that will happen at 7:30. If you don't watch it, meet us at the fan zone after the game. And yeah, it's me, JC. That's Dan.
Good save.
Yeah, I nearly put it at the bed. That was really bad. But this is Eagle Eye Football. We're out. Up the Palace. Eagle!